Namaskar, Namaste, good morning. I thank the Cyberverse Foundation for organizing this Digital Acceleration and Transformation Expo in New Delhi, and I thank them for inviting me to speak. Unfortunately, due to some extremely unavoidable commitments, I wasn't able to be there today in person, but I wish everyone the best, and I hope the outcomes of this event contribute towards advancing the conversation of using technology for good, for expanding and accelerating the digitalization of our economy and creation of opportunities as our Honorable Prime Minister laid out as our goals as a nation and as a people way back in 2015. I'm also confident that as we continue these conversations, that the Prime Minister's vision of an India decade, a decade full of technology opportunities that is around the corner, will also be realized by the perseverance, grit, commitment, innovation, and hard work of many thousands of our startups and entrepreneurs around the world and around the country. I would certainly take this opportunity to share some thoughts on today's theme, which aligns completely with the vision and mission set by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in 2015. India clearly, as somebody who's seen tech for over 3.5 decades, India today is clearly at an inflection point. The Indian innovation economy is at an absolute takeoff stage. And over the last 9 years, India has rapidly digitized its economy. We were about 4.5% of total GDP, which was digital economy in 2014. We are at about 11% today of digital economy as a percentage of total GDP, and we expect to be 1/5 or 20% of the total GDP being contributed from the digital economy. The digital economy in general, the innovation economy in particular, is today galloping at about 2.5, almost sometimes 3%, 3 times faster than the regular GDP. And therefore, we are certainly growing, not just in the world's fastest growing economy in the world, we are also in the fastest growing digital economy in the world, with a clear goal of a $1 trillion digital economy by 26 and a $5 trillion total economy by the year 27. India, as you know, is an extraordinary case study for the deployment of technology for the good of its people. Way back in 2015, our Prime Minister had laid down his goal that he wanted tech to be principally his Digital India program that he rolled out in 2015, and I was in an audience just like you are today. And he laid out this goal that he wants technology to transform the lives of every Indian citizen. He wants technology to create more opportunities for entrepreneurship and startups and expand the digital economy. And he also said in 2015 that he envisioned India being not just a consumer of technologies, which it had been for so many decades, but also a producer of the next generation of products, devices, solutions, platforms for the world and for in the Indian economy as well. Most importantly, the biggest real life use case, if you want to call it that, of technology at scale has been demonstrated in India, where the age-old narrative that 100 rupees left Delhi and only 15 rupees reached the citizens because of corruption, because of intermediation, leakages, has been totally turned on its head after almost 65 years of independence, accepting that as a status quo, accepting that as a inbuilt feature of our Indian democracy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji rolled out the JDY accounts, the Jan Dhan Yojana accounts, and created this technology platform where today 100 rupees leaves Delhi and it reaches every citizen's accounts that is entitled to his or her money directly through technology, without intermediation, without leakages, without any corruption, and at an instant speed. So technology today at scale has been demonstrated in India as something that is not just about creating unicorns and creating billionaires and creating jobs, but is also fundamentally transforming our governance, transforming democracy, transforming and rebuilding after 6.5 decades the trust between government and citizens, because the government today, because of technology, is able to reach citizens even in the remotest corners of our country, and not having them suffer the perils of distance from government or the government institutions. In addition, as part of this digitalizing of our governance, digitalizing of our economy, you can see that there has been an extremely vibrant ecosystem of startups and innovation that have grown rapidly around it. And one of the examples that I use to show this tremendous symbiotic relationship between government and Prime Minister Modi ji's vision for digitalizing our economy and governance, and the consequent growth of innovation in the private sector among startups, is the classic case of UPI. UPI was a use case to allow the transfer of money from government to citizens in an absolutely seamless manner, which is being done today for hundreds and lakhs of crores of Indians. And UPI has also spawned one of the world's most exciting fintech ecosystems in the world that is now is growing and thriving, attracting investments, creating opportunities like unprecedented manner in India. Going forward, the technology spectrum, the opportunity spectrum in the innovation economy that in 2014 consisted primarily of IT, ITES, and we were singularly focused on that opportunity, and we did very well. We have beautiful, great companies like HCL, Infosys, Wipro, Tata Consulting that have become global standard companies, creating tremendous amount of wealth, economic activity, and jobs for Indians all across the country. We are today living in an era where every aspect and every segment of the digital economy and the innovation economy, whether it's semiconductors, electronics, microelectronics, Web3, AI, high performance computing, quantum computing, every area of technology, every area of the innovation economy has an Indian flag with one or two or more Indian startups that are doing extremely well. Next generation AI chips, edge AI chips, cybersecurity platforms, any of these areas today that we look at that are so important to not just the growth and opportunities, but also in terms of shaping the future of technology, we have Indian startups and Indian technology presence there firmly. So there is no segment of the innovation economy that India is not present in, and it is our government and our Prime Minister's clear, unrelenting motivation and objective that more and more opportunities are created for young Indians, and more young Indians use those opportunities to create successful startups, successful stories that are global in terms of their scope and global in terms of the recognition and success. As we progress in developing the next gen technologies, you can see today the almost frantic conversation and discourse around artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is clearly one of the biggest inventions in our times, in our recent times. After semiconductor and the internet, artificial intelligence certainly is one of the almost three most important inventions in our lifetime. And while we are focused clearly on making sure artificial intelligence is a kinetic enabler and an absolute accelerant for our digital economy and growth of our innovation economy, we are also ensuring that safety and trust. Our Prime Minister has made it very clear that safety and trust of these platforms is as important. And with 1.2 billion Indians who are going to be using the internet by 2025-26, with almost 850 million or 85 crore Indians already using the internet, we are one of the largest connected nations in the world. And safety and trust of all of our digital Nagriks, all those Indians who use the internet, is certainly a policy objective and imperative. You have heard recently our Honorable Prime Minister call out the risks of deep fakes. We have all been aware, especially some of us from my generation, who always believed that technology is a great enabler and is a force for good. But recent events in the last 10 years have also shown that unless regulated carefully, unless regulated through the prism of safety and trust, internet and the broader technology ecosystem can also be a power for harm, power for criminality. And therefore, these guardrails, which carefully developed without over-regulating innovation, is something that we are focusing on working with the rest of the country, rest of the world rather, in putting forth. In conclusion, I want to emphasize Our commitment, our Prime Minister's vision of the India Decade is a vision that basically will see more and more young startups, more and more young entrepreneurs dive into these opportunities that are being created by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's policies, and we will not just continue the momentum, that we will as a nation almost working together with this huge ecosystem of growing ecosystem of startups and young confident Indians work to shaping the future of tech and economy, not just in India, but tech and global digital economy for the rest of the world. I thank all of you who are present in this event for participating and engaging in this discourse, not just about the immediate short term and the near future, but also I certainly invite you to think about the India Decade vision that Prime Minister Modi ji has put, and the goal that he has put forth in front of everybody, the guarantee that he has given to the nation, that he wants to make India a developed nation within our lifetimes, and so that all of what our country had to suffer over the years, over the six and a half decades before 2014, of poverty, of deprivation, of exclusion, of large numbers of people from economic opportunity, are once and for all reversed, and that every Indian, young Indian, old Indian, rural Indian, urban Indian, has a good, fair shake at an opportunity to growth, development for himself, herself, and their families. I thank the Cyberverse Foundation again for inviting me to speak today. I wish all the participants the very best, and I wish all of you also a belated festival season which has just passed, and to those who are looking forward to the coming Christmas season, I wish you in advance the very best, and I look forward to engaging with you on another occasion. All the very best. Namaste. Jai Hind.